slides, and here we go. Okay, pen is on. Okay, good, great. Okay, welcome to Network Automation. Today, this is I think, the 10th webinar so far in this year during pandemic. Well, at least we have to be thankful. We are still be able to join the webinar and then discuss some things and then earn or learn or share something for others. So we're hopefully doing a good thing for the webinar. The agenda that we'll be talking today are introductions. We're talking about the automations and then FCAPS. Perhaps some of you already heard it, some of you maybe not. That's basically some aspects about how you manage organizations that runs networks like ISP or telecommunications. And then, of course, we'll be talking about the network automation. And if time permits, we can have a live practice. Every webinar, we just only have 60 minutes. Okay, we start on time and then finish on time as well. And if you have any question and answer, I would rather to have it on chat box, so it is easier. And then if I can see some questions, and then I will discuss it right away. If not, and then maybe later on in the next webinar, right? Okay, let's get started. Introductions. We are GLC, Garda Lintas Cakrawala. That's our website. And then we are based in Bandung. Our areas are training and IT consulting. We do training for MikroTik, Ubiquiti, Linux stuff like, some programmings and then some system administrations. We had a product, a GLC Radius Manager and billing as well. So I forgot to put the things here. So it's a platform for managing your network as well as the money. Okay, so most likely you just manage the technical things about the IP addresses, about the DNS, IP addresses, about static routing, anything, and so on and so forth. But the most important thing is the money, right? That's the main reason why you set up your network. Yeah, you want to get some money. You want to manage. You want to make sure that the money that you spend is really worth that's already spent by your organization. So that's why we built the GLC Radius Manager. We also have regular event about the webinar and also other stuff like trainings and consulting. Right. Look, guys, if you have any questions, let's write something on the group chat. Okay. About myself, my name is Achmad Mardiansyah, and I'm based in Bandung. I'm a Linux user since 1999, a MikroTik user since 2007, Ubiquiti users as well, certified trainers for MikroTik and Ubiquiti and Linux. I have written some articles in some websites to make sure that what I have learned can be benefit for others. If you have LinkedIn, we can connect through LinkedIn as well. That's my URL, LinkedIn URL, and we can connect there. Yeah. Past experiences. This year we had a project. We do a project for about IoT integrations, network automation. We try to automate some tedious tasks, manual tasks. Okay, and also the monitoring. Okay, that things needs, I think needs to be automated as well. Last year we were in Congo. We support ISP setup from ground up. Previous year, also we developed a billing and integration, set up a dynamic routing network revamps. Yeah, actually, previous year in Libya, of course, never been there. It was a remote project. So we do the wireless migration from one method to the other, from one type of network to the other node. Next, previous year was in United Kingdom, so we do a network migration from bridge network to router network. So basically, most of our projects are related to the ISP or networks. So the thing is, we can manage your current network better. About the webinar itself, we start first time in January 1st, 2010. At the time, we were discussing Solaris operating system. And oh, yeah, this is also a request from you guys. If you have a topic that needs to be discussed here, please write something in the group chat, and then we'll write it down. And then if there are many people request it, and then we'll schedule it in our webinar. Right. Okay, I think you have introduced yourself. Thank you very much. I can see here there are 60 attendees, 60 participants. Thank you. Some of you are, I believe, Indonesians. Many of you are. And I can see some are not from here, from overseas. I can see some are from Philippines, and then some are from Middle East. Okay, doesn't matter. Okay, thank you very much for coming, and then really appreciate your time. Okay, let's discuss the automation. So this is the definition of automation. So it's a technology which process and procedure performed to have a minimal human assistance. So with automations, we like the name suggests, is automate everything. Automation means we try to do some things automatically. Automatically means less human interventions. Okay, so automation happens mostly in the industry, mostly in manufacturing, and they were doing that by, for example, setting up a robotic setup. I know this because I was an industrial engineer. Yeah, had some time in the manufacturers. Had a support, but not long. But yeah, I had experience in manufacturers. At the time, it was in Bandung, and I was supporting textile manufacturing here. So basically, textiles is one of the industry that has lots of human labor. Yeah, because so first they buy cotton. From cotton they put it into thread. From thread they make the thread into a piece of a sheet of what is it? The things that can be turned into the clothes. Actually, all things are the products of textile industry is only like a cotton color, so that they have to go to a coloring company to put some colors on it. Right. Okay, so that was the automation. And then I believe we all of us already know about the benefit of automation. So basically, there are lots of text here, but you can check that. You can see that not all are looks so sophisticated, but we can see here there are several aspects that is considered when we do automation. When that some aspect that we expect when we do automation. So first is efficiency. So we want to reduce the errors, okay, because humans are full of errors, right? Humans have emotions, but machines not. So we want to reduce the errors. And then by doing so, we expect to lower the operational expenses, right? So those are the main benefit or maybe motivations why we do the automation, right? Okay, so let's talk about the network. So when we talk about the managing network, usually we talk about FCAPS here. So what the hell is FCAPS? Okay, we discuss it in the next slide here. So first, F is fault management. So usually this is the fault. So fault management means how you manage a fault that happens on your system, like a network down, interface is broken, ping is not achieved, high ping delay, you know. So if you are in a single network, a flat network, and you ping the gateway and then it takes you 7,000 milliseconds, right? You sure there must be a problem, right? And then all of them are just local network, but the ping to the gateway, our local gateway in the same building from my laptop is 7,000. So there must be something wrong in my network, right? And next is configuration management. Okay, so how you configure the devices, okay, including the how you identify the devices, how you configure it, and then so on and so forth. And we have accounting, so what happened in the system, the measurements, like how long have you been doing browsing, or what kinds of IP addresses you are accessing, how much is your online time, when is your login to the system, right? Those kind of things. So those are accountings. And then we have performance here. Most likely it's the SLA, like the QoS, right? And then make sure that everyone has the bandwidth they intended to receive, right? Also next is security. Of course, you want to make sure that your network is secure, secure from any other threats. You don't want somebody can hack into network and then change the configuration or doing something bad. Right. So those are FCAPS. Okay, started from fault management. So we have discussed this previously about the fault monitoring, fault database. Okay, so and then if we have a good fault management system, we can have analysis like historical data when we have a pattern. So we are looking for a pattern. Okay, so when we have a fault management, so we can see a patterns that's happening in our system, in our network, right? So those are the uh, goals. Okay, and then we can build up an analysis what happens during a certain time in our networks. Okay, so that was the fault management. So how you manage a fault that happens or failure that happens to your network, right? And next is configuration management. So it's responsible for managing the configuration for devices. This is the, I think most of the, maybe it can be more than 50% of what we are doing as a network engineer is doing this one, okay, configurations. So we configure that, we configure this, we make sure that we have a requirements to do this and that, and then as a consequence of the requirements, we need to buy something or we need to change the configuration. Right, so configuration management, yeah, including tracking of the configuration as well. Yeah, so previously, two weeks ago, what was the configuration? And then today, what was the configuration? Is there any changes in the configurations? Right. That includes, for example, backup and restore. Okay, backup is one thing, restore is one thing, and I think we also requires the history, change history of configurations. Right. Also device discovery, some of configuration aspects. Okay, and accounting. So basically, accounting is managing measurements on the networks, like network usage. Okay, and data consumptions that is consumed by a user. Okay, sorry guys, I have to turn off your microphone here. Okay. Right. Okay. Yeah, so accounting means keeping track of what you are doing in our networks, like how much data that you already downloaded, and then how much time is your online time. Okay, how long have you been online today, and so on and so forth. Okay, next is performance. This is usually for your customer, right? The quality of service, service level agreements, okay, 99.99%, whatever. So those are the one aspect of performance management. So when we talk about these management aspects of networking, how you manage our network, and then it also requires more discussions, because this is just a high level. Okay, what we discuss here is just a high level, but for details, I think we need to have another webinar or workshop for that. Next is security management. Okay, basically it's CIA and non-repudiation. So CIA means confidentiality. So you have to make sure that the data that is sent from A to B, okay, so it's the same data. There is no something in between that is tampering the data itself. So usually when we explain the security, we usually have analogy like this. So you have A, send data to B, and then something in between we have C. Okay, sometimes we call it, this is Alice, this is Bob, and then this is Charlie, right? It's a very classic story when we talk about the security. That is confidentiality. Integrity means the data is the same when it's released from the source and then arrive at the destination. Confidentiality means the person has the rights, only the person that has rights that can access the information. And availability means the available, the target and destination is available to send something in the network. Okay, so that's security. And then maybe this one is quite new. So the first three is usually called triad CIA, triad but the last one here is maybe is new. Most likely, we talk about non-repudiations in a banking system or or a system that requires non-repudiation. So non-repudiation means you can deny. You can deny. Okay, you cannot deny. For example, you want to transfer money from A to B. You already say you already transfer. Okay, you already transfer. But later on, you say that, okay, I didn't transfer that. So that's non-repudiation. It means that it's a system, it's a mechanism that that is put on the system that you cannot deny, you cannot reject what you have done. Okay, so that was non-repudiation. So next, so first we already know about automations, and then we talk about the networking aspect that needs to be managed. Okay, if you run a network, those are the aspect that needs to be managed, right? The FCAPS. And then we talk about network automation. So the first thing, after you already know the FCAPS, the automations, when we talk about network automations, first question that comes to your mind should be what to automate. You want to automate fault management, configuration management, accounting, performance, security, or what? So you want to automate all of them. That's fine. You want to automate some of them. It's okay. And you just want to automate one of them. That's fine as well. So we as a network engineer, most likely our job is doing configuration, right? What we do, we also do training here, and then most likely most of our trainings are doing things related to configurations, how to copy this, how to copy that, how to set up this, how to set up that, right? Okay. Yeah, so I mean, it's up to you how you define your automations. Okay, which aspect you want to automate, because if you want to automate everything, and then it requires more energy and more manpower. Okay, so perhaps today you can pick one. You want to automate the configuration things, configuration aspects. That's fine. And then next, perhaps you need to ask yourself when you need to automate. Okay, so some reasons why people do automations. One, perhaps because you have many nodes. You have tens of nodes, hundreds that needs to be managed from one single uh, central point. You want to do monitoring, you want to do configuration from single location. Yeah, so usually automation happens if you have many nodes. If you have many nodes, it means that your network is big. Okay. Yeah, big means you have, can be you have many subnets, or you have many nodes that needs to be managed. Okay, so in order to save money, in order to save resources, resources can be money, labor time, workers, and sometimes and others. Okay, yeah. So automation will have a benefit. I mean, benefit if your network is big, or you want to reduce some things, or because there are some tasks that needs manual intervention, manual settings, and then sometimes you want to reduce some things. Okay, as you can see here in the second bullet point, You want to reduce money, you want to reduce labor time, you want to reduce workers, human errors, okay? So that's one reason why you want to do automation, okay? And then you can, of course, you can choose other reason why you want to do automation. Okay, so what are the steps? Well, first is analyze your network. So do we really need this automation? Oops. Oh, okay, hold on. Ah, yeah, now it's working. So yeah, you need to ask your team. Okay, so steps. So analyze your network. Okay, so do we really need this automation? So identify pain points. Okay, or areas so that needs to be automated, because not all. Okay, not all areas. Well, you can do, but you know, when you do automation, it requires resources. Okay, and then you define automation tools, and then consult with all teams before making a decisions, and then you do training. Okay, make sure everybody knows. Okay, after we do automation, because sometimes here problem with automation is this one. Okay, so it means that automation requires the person that needs to be able to handle the new thing. So automation is like a new technology, and then that technology needs to have a person that is capable for doing that. Okay, so that's why training here is important, right? And then next, you can explore experiments and expand. Okay. About the topology. Okay, so when we do automations, usually we do, this is topology. Okay, we have a control node. This is a one computer. Okay, and then this control node access the manage node here. Only two type of nodes, control and manage. That's it, as simple as that. Okay, so the one that we control can be the network. Network can be routers here, or switches, or any other network devices. Or we can do automate on operating system, okay, like Linux, uh, yeah, any kind of Linux, um, Windows, and others. Okay, so usually we have two types of uh, nodes. Okay, so we have a control node and a manage node. All right. Another aspect is about the agents. So we can do automations with agent or without agent. So agent means you have to install something on managed node, but agentless, oh, I forgot to use. I just use a standard interface. Sorry, I forgot to complete. Uh, yeah, just use standard interface provided by a managed node. Okay. All right. About the interface itself. So previously you can see that a control node must be able to access the managed node. Usually it happens in a specific interface. Okay. For example, if you have a network, or for example, a server. Okay, this is a server, right? And then in the server, we have several network interface, right? Okay. And then every network interface has their own functions. So one function is for applications, other function is for backup and restore, others is for operation and maintenance, and then this is for console, right? So operation and maintenance, so we have dedicated network for doing the OIM. So the control node will connect to this ORM network. But not all network has this type of topology. Okay, but usually for the big organization, they have they have a special network for a certain purpose, right? So we know that we have a control node and then manage node. This is control. This is manage node. We have manage node. Okay. So the control node needs to be able to access the manage node here based on the interface that is provided by the manage node. Okay. Some managed node, they provide SSH service, okay, SSH protocol. So this is very common, okay, for command line interface. Sometimes they use HTTP protocol, so it means that it's TCP port 80 or 443 for HTTPS. Okay, so that could be a web interface where we have to key in something. And then they provide also API that can do REST interface. Okay, API means application programming interface. Others, you can use other methods, okay, which can be a proprietary or not. Okay, so that's the automation interface. So by doing so, we can see here we have a control node. Okay, so we have a control node here. We have a manage node here, but we need to understand that we have a user here. Okay, so control node is still technical. So usually we provide an interface here. Okay, here to here. Interface. Okay. So one example is this one, right? So this is the interface, right? So here, for example, this is the interface for a user. Okay. So, and then here's the command. And then we tick here. So to which node you want to send this command. Okay, so we have command number 1, command number 2, command number 3. Okay, so we click submit here, and then this command will be sent to those nodes. Okay. If you have any questions, you can write them down. Okay. So what needs to be done for doing automations? Well, first, this is my opinion. Okay, first you need to have a logic. At least if A equals to, if A is larger than B, B larger than C, of course A is larger than C, right? Okay, A is larger than B, B is larger than C, of course A is larger than C. I mean, that's that kind of logic, right? Next thing is you need to have a programming skills here. Number 3 is programming. Number 4 is programming. Sorry, guys. This is just my opinion, okay? Yeah. So if you want to do automations, I mean, yeah, this is the automation, right? You want to automate something. So that means those are prerequisites that needs to be done if you want to automate something. Okay. First, you need to have a logic and then programming skill, programming skill, because you need to do something here, right? Okay. After you send something, okay. So the interface is very simple. Okay, you can tap here and then send a command. Okay, how do you send a command? What kind of interface do you use? Okay, so is there any for loop? Okay, remember that for loop. or a while loop. Okay. Do we need to put in database? How do we query this database? So this database, okay, so this nodes coming from the database, okay, and then display here, okay. And when we talk about the configuration management, so every time you send a command, there will be a history for that, right? Okay, okay, I'll put okay, so I turn off the mute button so that you can unmute. So if you have any questions, please feel free to ask any questions via microphone or chat box. Okay. Right. So this is an example of interface for end user. Okay, and then this is a prerequisite. And also, I think we can do a live practice now. I will share a SSH connections details, and then you can try to log in through using that. Okay, I'll copy and paste in the chat box. Okay, I will not display it in the uh, in the share screen. No. Okay, so those are the SSH access. So you can see the SSH address, and then the username is X. Okay, we have X there. X should be changed to 1 to 10. Okay, so X is a number from 1 to 10. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So it's up to you. You can pick any number. Okay, from 1 to 10, or maybe 20. You can just try. So change X to a number, and then you can log in. Those are the password. Okay, please try. So that yeah, so we can do something here. Okay, I will share my screen, the whole screen. Okay, I have logged in. Okay, I already log in, and then I can see. Okay, some of you already log in as well. I can see. Yeah, some of you already log in from these IP addresses. Okay, please try to log in, and then we can do something. Well, actually, we have several nodes that can be used for our practice here. First is we can ping netsim 241.lan.chelseanetworks.com. Okay, so those are this is our practice server. Okay, so it's a we call it it's a console. Okay, it's a console that connects to the other nodes. Okay, so if you want to access, and then you can do SSH. SSH. We have 10 10 routers here that you can use, so it's up to you how you want to access it. Okay, the way you access is SSH admin, and then here's the port number. Port number is 22, and then X 0 X. X you can change it. Okay, X is a number, so it's up to you. So we have a 10. We have a 10 routers online, and then you can access them. For example, one here, this is router one. Okay, quit. If you want to access router two, you can just type, change it to port two. Okay. And then, yeah, this is router two. If you want to access router three, change the number. Okay. But as you can see, all of them are using the same IP addresses. Okay, so IP address is the same. IP address is the same, which is netsim241.lan.glcnetworks.com. Only the port is different. Okay, I have one chat here. Sorry, why that access denied? Perhaps you forgot to change the password. Yes, that can be the reason. Right, so that's how you access the MikroTik routers, okay, by changing, define the port name. I mean, not port name, port number, because port is always integer. Okay, so as simple as that. So I can see some of you connect to router 2, that's fine. Some of you connect to router 3, that's okay. Router 7, no problem. So I'm accessing router 1 here. So same here, access denied. Well, anybody? So I can see some of you already log in. So how can you do that? Can you please share? How can you access the server? So look, please be careful when you type the password, okay? So we are GLC Networks with S. People from Indonesia most likely forgot to add S at the end. All right, so that's it. Or perhaps, oh yeah, perhaps you've, yeah, so somebody here recognized the error, okay. X is number 1 to 10, so you have to change it. Yes, that's correct. Thank you for Ramadan Agung Rifai. Yeah, thank you very much for helping me. Okay, do not type X, please. Okay, I have said that, I have told you that X is a number, you have to change it. Okay, so here it is. Okay, so first I'm accessing router 1, and then from here I can do interface print. Okay, so that's how it works. You need to understand the scripting language, right? You log in, then do configuration, then log out, and then that's it. That's you're doing configuration things, configuration management. Okay. What else? Oh, somebody's singing. Okay, I need to stop your microphone. Sorry, guys. Okay, right. Okay, let's get back. So the thing is, you can log in by changing the port name. Password, it doesn't work. Well, it works here. Works very well. Or perhaps your ISP blocks your access because we are running the port not in the common SSH port, okay? But actually you can see it here. If you pay attention to the details, you will see the port number. Right. So what I would like to say is actually you can do automation. It's not, oh, so I'm doing automation, so it means that I always do Ansible. No, it's not. Okay. You can do automation with simple things like this. You can do SSH minus P for port minus with capital C, and then you type the command here. For example, interface print. Okay, see? And then you can do also, if you have multiple commands, for example, you can type them here as well. For example, you want to display IP route print. Ta-da! Okay. First command. Okay, and then here's the second command. See? So you can type another command for changing something. Okay, for example, you want to add static routes. So yeah, some case study for automation is you want to do something manually, because if you want to do OSPF is doing the routing for you, right? But for the static route, you have to do it by yourself. Oh, okay. I have a question here. I have one situation with MikroTik router. Well, this is not related with the topic today. So the Office network has a VM server. How can I configure the router so that I can set public IP on the VM so that the VM server looks like it's directly connected to the internet? Well, for that one, you can use network address translation. Okay, that's one way. Other way is you can put the you can use the, what is it? You can put the IP, public IP there, and then you can do routing for that. But for doing that, usually you need to have a block of IP address given by your ISP. Otherwise, you can use reply ARP, proxy ARP. That can be done. Oh, yes, you have the block. Okay, so that's easier then. Yeah, so this is how it looks like. IP route at destination network. I forgot the command. At okay, no gateway. Okay, so this is how it looks like. Okay, so this is very simple script that you can use for automate. Last week we also have a Unix, so that's why you need to learn Unix, right? Usually when you have a case like this, then you can create script. Okay, type your name here, .sh. Okay, and then you can use bash shell. Oops. Oof. Yeah. And then here you can type something like, oh, make it easier, and just copy and paste. Yeah, I have a question here. So is there any session for Ansible? Yes, in the future, but today it's just a normal automation, very simple automation with the shell script. Of course, there will be another automation with other tools like Python or others, but not today, not this time. Okay, you can just tap it like this. System. All right. So we're done. We check the script. Okay. Oh, okay. I can see other user here. Thank you very much. Okay, I see some chat here. Yes, I have the blog. Aha, proxy art might be the key. Okay. You're welcome. Give a try tonight. Yeah, sure. Okay, actually, if you have the block and then the ISP, the one that gives you the blocks, and then they will route the blocks through the IP address that is put on your interface that connects directly to the ISP. Here I have a question from Manish Mani, dual stack in IPv6. I don't understand your questions, sorry. Okay, Eka Sasmita. SSH admin, blah, 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 blah. Oh, okay. So one guy is asking, why do I need to use slash? Okay, it's a good question. Okay, slash. Okay, that means better if you log into the router first. Oops, I'm logging into router 1. Okay, so this is router 1, right? And then you need to understand how the MikroTik command line works. So you can tap here and then you can see the cyan color here. That means the menu. Okay, you can see capspan menu, file menu, log menu, lots of menu. So as long as it's using cyan color, it's the menu. So the menu can be relative, can be executed relative or absolute. So for example, there's a menu IP here. I go to IP. Sorry, this is MikroTik. So always start. So always start with slash. So slash means you are on the root of the menu. So if I can write them down, maybe you can use yellow color. So this is the menu, right? So this is the root. Okay, and then we have IP, we have interface. Okay, here, and then we have IP, we have log, we have, what else? We have system. Yeah, so it means that you want to do automations, you need to be familiar with the command line. Okay, so you will need to be able to create a script on that. Right, so these are the menu, and then from IP you have submenu for address. You have submenu for firewall and others, DHCP, okay, and so on and so forth. Okay, so that's how you execute the command. So same thing here. So if I already inside the IP menu, so I'm at the IP here, so I'm over here. Okay, so that means that I'm already there. So I can press tab to check the sub menu inside below. We can say below the IP sub menu. So as you can see here, address. I can see address. Okay, address. So that this time I don't have to put the slash. Okay, address and then tab. And then you can see here is magenta. Magenta means the command or action. You can use print and there you go. Or you can use from slash. Okay, so slash IP address print. Okay. Right, so I have a question. Can you show the script again? Yes. See, I'm at, sorry, not CD, slash IP. So I'm inside the IP. So if I want to quit, then slash quit. Right. So the content for the script is here. This is, for example, the script. And then how do you execute the script? Okay, you can type script Achmad. Oh, permission denied. Oh, so you have to add executable. Chmod plus X. There you go. Done. Okay, I need to check. Okay. Yeah, so here's the content. Okay, so the first is to display display interface. Second is to check to set up the router name. In this case, because I'm using port 1, so the router will be router 01. And then I do automation here. This is my lab. Okay. We usually use this a server. This lab NetSim 241. We use this for our testing and then training purpose. So after a lab, after you configure here and there, usually the configuration is very messy. So with automation, I can save my time. I don't have to reset all of them. I just remove the old configuration, like remove IP addresses, right? Remove OSPF configuration, remove BGP configuration, remove static routes configuration, and so on and so forth. So it's with the automations, it is very handy for me for managing those routers. With in the real scenario, I also do the same. For example, configuring some routers. Uh, yeah, with the script. Okay, usually for monitoring. So we have a script that runs, for example, every 24 hours. The script will send the observation into the database or into Git. Yeah, we use Git so that we can see the difference between configuration per day. For example, is there any change on configurations? We can compare the configuration, today's configurations. We can compare it to the configuration from 1 week ago. Okay. Right. So I think I answered the questions. Okay. Thank you very much for the question. It was good. Yeah. Oh, okay. I can see many people are able to log in. Thank you very much. Script Calvin, okay. Script Arif Purnomo, Script Kiki. Yeah, that's good. Script Fira, yeah. Some of you log into the routers to do something on it. That's fine. That's great. Okay, so all are doing well here. Any questions? Any questions? No? Well, I think time is up. We have to 2030. If you don't mind, can you please put here in the group chat the topic that you want to be discussed in the future webinar? Okay. You can type the topics. Yeah, any topics as long as related to networks and MikroTik and Linux and programming. Okay. And the last, I have a message here from admin to have a photo session. Please turn on all of your cameras, and then we have a photo session. Right, thank you. Right. Okay, I'll turn on my webcam as well. Okay, anything else? Okay, gallery. Then here. Okay, please turn on your cameras, guys. So we need to take some pictures. Right. Okay, come on. For those who haven't turned on your cameras, please turn it on. We want to take a photo session here. Okay, thank you. We have 16 participants for the first page. Thank you very much. Okay, and for the second page, take another screenshot. Right. Wow, great. And then I think that's all. Okay, that's for documentations. Again, thank you very much for coming. So hopefully you can get something from this webinar. And then we still have a webinar with different topics every week. So feel free to come in and then have a good day. Okay, thank you very much again. Bye-bye. Have a nice day and good evening for those who are in Indonesia or Asia. And then wish you all have a good day today. And then see you next time. Bye-bye.